Hey Ashraf, sorry for the interruption.
You should consider renaming yourself or naming your child Luz Vimin. The next slide. So
Sorry Ashraf, is there a sound now?
Yes, no, it's all right. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
next slide. So after learning the rich history, culture, lifestyles, education of Morocco, let us now move on to the history of my beloved country, which is the Philippines. And now, mabuhay, and welcome to the Pearl of the Orient Seas, the Philippines. Slide. Okay, so the Philippines is consist of over 7,000 islands, or to be exact, we have 7,641 islands here, and it differs when high tide or low tide, because when high tide, some small islands disappears and comes back when low tide. Just kidding. The next slide. So what you see here on your screen, you will see an illustration of the map of the Philippines. So the Philippines is divided into three major islands, namely Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So the northern part of our country is where I live, is where we live. It's called Luzon, and it is considered as the largest island of the Philippines, the largest island of the Philippines. So the second large island of the Philippines, next to Luzon, is located at the southern portion of the Philippines, and it's called here the yellow part, the Mindanao. And lastly, the smallest island of the Philippines is located right here in the middle of our country. It's called Visayas. So if you want to be a Filipino, or you want to have some Filipino thing in you, you should consider renaming yourself or naming your child Luz Viminda, short for Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So Luz Viminda. So next, so the Philippines is home for 112,321,991 people, according to the statistics. Since we have tons of islands here, the Philippines is considered as an archipelagic country, an archipelago or a group of islands. The archipelago has for thousands of years but the natural melting pot of Asia. And yeah, the Philippines is a melting pot of Asia. Next. So before society became distinguished into groups of almost 100 families or 100 individuals, 100 families or more, we call it before as barangay. Barangay is the smallest administrative division, and it is our own term, a Filipino term for a village or a district. So barangay is a village or a district. And each barangay is led by a headman or datu here. Datu. Several datus were led by Raha, who led several barangays too, called bayan or translated as city in English. Each barangay is headed or is led by a datu. And a barangay is just a small administrative division, a small administrative region. Each barangay is composed, each city, what we refer to as bayan, is composed of several barangays. So bayan or city and barangays or village. Then each city is led by a raha. So raha and datu, raha, bayan, city, datu, barangay. Next. And before, when the written record of the Philippine Islands were really started, you can see here on the illustration that we have our own system of administration. It may be small, it may be not quite extravagant, but we still maintained our peace, the Filipino peace. But the question is, when did the Philippine history really begin? So the written record of the Philippine history traces back to the coming of the Spaniards, the Spanish. They have colonized the Philippines for exactly 333 years, 333 years. And you can see a lot of their influences to our country from cultures, traditions, religions, language, and a whole lot more. The Philippines were claimed in the name of Spain back in 1521 by a Portuguese explorer named Ferdinand Magellan. He led the Spaniards' expedition for what they call the three G's: God, Gold, and Glory. So the Portuguese group, led by Ferdinand Magellan, had their goal, and what they call it as three G's: God, Gold, and Glory. The first one is the God. This, they have this goal because the Spaniards wants to spread the Christianism in anywhere in the world, specifically the Catholicism, the practices, the beliefs of the Catholicism, which is very the Catholicism is very prominent religion in our country, and the Catholicism is considered as the major religion of the Philippines because it has a lot of members or devotees of the Catholic religion. The second is gold. Gold for economic purposes and to trade goods because the Spaniards want to search for spices. Their expedition not just their expedition is not just focused or anchored on the spreading of Christianism, but also they want to search for spices. And the Philippines is home for lots of spices like cloves, nutmeg, whole nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger, and many more. And lastly, for Ferdinand Magellan's three G's is glory. So Ferdinand Magellan wanted to be the first to discover new places and new economic markets. So the European government, they sought to establish their claims to new territories to strengthen their positions in the government and also to increase, their power. in terms of land owning ability, because for them, more lands, more territories, they have more power over the people. So Ferdinand Magellan, he died in a battle with Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu is a Filipino and is widely celebrated as the first Filipino hero because he fought with Lapu-Lapu. He fought with Magellan, I'm sorry. So because, back then, Magellan is attempting to colonize Mactan. Mactan is a place in southern part of the Philippines, and it is located in Cebu, Philippines. Magellan and his troops were attempting to colonize Mactan, wherein Lapu-Lapu is the chief. Lapu-Lapu is the head chief. He is the leader of Mactan back then. So, in order to protect his place, he fought with Magellan, in which Lapu-Lapu won and Magellan died. So, this battle happened on April 27, 1521, and this is called as the Battle of Mactan, Lapu-Lapu versus Magellan. So, while being in a Spanish colonization, the Americans then came to our country. So, the Americans go to a war with the Philippines from 1899 to 1903, and also with the Americans' desire for commercial opportunities in Asia. They concerned that the Filipinos were incapable of leading our country, of incapable of self-rule within the country. So, as concerned as they are, they feared that if the United States did not take control over the Philippines, another power or another country might do so, such as the Japanese or the Germans. They might control the Philippines. So, they took over the United States has the initiative to take over the Philippines, but no, it's not that good because this Philippine American War was seen as an insurrection that is considered as the continuation of the Philippine Revolution against the Spanish rule. So the American colonial period lasted for 48 years. Americans 48 years, and Spanish versus the Philippines 333 years. The next, and after tons of promises made by the Americans to the Philippines during the World War II, the Philippines was then occupied by the Japanese forces. So, Spaniards, Americans, Japanese. And by 1945, the United States liberated the Philippines. And the Treaty of Manila in 1946, in the Treaty of Manila established an independent Philippine Republic. So, through this long history of the Philippines, many of those practices, many of those beliefs, traditions, culture, language, religion are still relevant today. When you go to here to the Philippines, you will see lots of their influences, not just the Spaniards, not just the Japanese, not just the Americans, but all of them who colonized our country. You can see the influence of them in our country. And the rich history of the Philippines helps not only us, not only the Filipinos, but everyone in the world. It helps us paint a detailed picture of who we really are and a detailed picture of where we started, and where we stand today, which is the Philippines. And because, you know, it's all connected, everyone is interconnected. We're all connected. When you will search, you will see a connection of Morocco and the Philippines. And I think that concludes my presentation. So maraming salamat and thank you so much.
Okay, so that concludes the presentation from Philippines. And now we have Ashraf Marshid from Morocco, who will continue the discussion of the cities and some parks in Morocco. Ashraf.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen, all right?
Okay. Can you share your screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can you see it right now?
Yes, Ashraf. It's
All
presenting
right,
now.
all right. So, hello everybody. I hope you all are doing great and having such a wonderful day. This is me again, Ashraf from Morocco, and I hope you say guys remember me. So I am here today to complete what I have started before. So previously in the first presentation, we have addressed a concise background about Morocco, and we delved into our main theme, which is Moroccan musical world. Hence, there are multiple points which haven't been mentioned yet, such as some famous series here, popular parks, and the common means of transport here in Morocco. Before we get started, I would like to mention that Morocco is not a country. However, there is a culture itself, thanks to a multifarious civilization that have settled here in Morocco. Not to mention the climate and the terrain here as well, which provide a lot of the similarities between Moroccan series. So starting by the most notorious series in Morocco, it is logical to begin with the largest one. So Casablanca is located in the central western region of Morocco, bordering the Atlantic Ocean, and it is actually the biggest urban area in, in my country, and the second largest city in the Maghreb region. The latter, by the way, includes four countries, which are Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Mauritania. So basically, it contains Morocco and its three neighbors. As a matter of fact, Casablanca has a population of 3.7 million in the urban area and over 4.3 million in the greater Casablanca province. Anfa is the original Berber name of the present-day Casablanca, but circling back to Iberian Union when the Spanish name Casablanca emerged immediately after the Portugal came under Spanish control, and so did Casablanca City. So basically, Casablanca is such a pure name, a pure Spanish word, and means the White House in English language. The area which is today Casablanca was actually founded and settled by the Amazigh, who are the Berbers, by at least the 17th century BC. It was used as a major port by the Phoenicians and later the Romans. And although the national political capital is Rabat, Casablanca City is considered as the economic and business core of Morocco, thanks to its numerous prospects, opportunities, and firms that you will never find in any other Moroccan city. Not to mention the acquisition of the principal and chief local airport, which is the main port for foreigners to come by. On the shoreline, just beyond the northern tip of Casablanca's old city, Hassan II Mosque is located. This masterpiece was opened to citizens in the end of 1993 by order of the deceased Moroccan king of that time named Hassan II. Furthermore, Hassan II Mosque is the second largest mosque in the world with the world's minaret, which is over 200 meters. Moreover, The prayer hall can contain for almost 25,000 worshippers, while the vast courtyard is able to fit another 80,000. So the total attendees can be picked to reach over 105,000 of worshippers. And as you can notice, the mosque is steering on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, not only the mosque, but Casablanca itself too. So not too far from the Islamic mosque, there is the Holy House Cathedral, which dates back to the 30s from the last century. In fact, it was established by the French government at that time. Since Morocco was colonized by France, though in 1956, and after Morocco proclaimed its independence, the cathedral didn't see it at all as a symbol of respect and harmony towards whether the Christians who live in our society or those who happen to visit Morocco as well. In other words, it is more like a gesture which refers that Morocco is so much like a salad bowl than a super conservative civilization. In the same token, its architecture is a harmonious blend of both European and Moroccan style. This current slide represents the oldest zone in Casablanca, which is called the Medina. This latter actually is located between the iconic Hassan II Mosque, as you can notice here, and Casablanca downtown. Casablanca's Medina may not have been the historic vibe, the appearance, the size, or the character of other Medinas around Morocco, but it is still a pleasant place to take a short walk today. You can see how locals have lived for the past several hundred years as you pass by homes in the narrow alleyways. While it may not have the vibrant souks of other Medinas, there are still plenty of shops and stalls where you can pick up souvenirs and see where locals go to shop. Casablanca is also known as a home of a house of national importance official buildings. And take, for instance, the main post office, Place of Justice, the main bank of Morocco, and last but not least, the prefecture. So as you can all observe, Casablanca is such a nest of multiple national institutions. So this one in the left, right here, is the official post office in Morocco, as well as the main bank in the right, and the place of justice in the middle. But unlike Casablanca, which is such a metropolitan city, the population in Azmur city does not exceed the 50,000, yet nobody can deny that it's such a seductive spot for tourists. Azmur city is next to Rabi'a River and not far from Casablanca. So basically, this picture right here enables you to find out perfectly the distance between Casablanca and the Azmur, which is approximately 90 kilometers. While this one slide or picture on the right side demonstrates the way how the Rabi'a River penetrates Azmur, heading out to the Atlantic Ocean. And it is very important to realize that the story of Azmur has got a rich history, which brings together people from different cultures. And during the 16th century, Azmur used to be the spot where lots of Portuguese explorers sought on their way to the east. And their impact is highly tangible in the buildings of the town and the surrounding walls as well. Azmur has got undoubtedly an outstanding large beach, and it is a popular destination for fans of water sports who can enjoy water skiing, windsurfing, and kite surfing. And as it is obvious on this current slide, that heavy waves are such a major characteristic of Azmur Beach. This area is also famous for its local artists who make beautiful paintings and drawings on the old city walls during the spring festival. This latter plays a gargantuan role to make the city of Azmur as a vivacious and cheerful spot, and eventually providing a terrific reputation to foreigners who aim to discover such places. Another significant feature about Moroccan people generally, and Azmur people particularly, is that they offer and provide unconditional effort, time, financial support, etc., just to ramp up their town's value. So in this slide, it is noticeable that all age categories are involved in painting, drawing, and cleaning their alleys so that they will be spotless. And without mentioning women who actually do the same job just as men and share the similar mean, which is seeing their city in a pretty good shape. The legendary Azmur is also popular for its patron saints, مولاي بوشعيب and للا عيش البحرية. According to the legend, للا عيش البحرية came from Baghdad, which is a city in the Middle East, to meet the beloved ruler of Azmur, Moulay Bouchaib. But unfortunately, her boat capsized and Lalla Aisha al-Bahriya drowned in the water. And really many people travel from far away to visit their mausoleums, as you can see in this slide. It is so much like a tomb, and folks come abundantly and constantly to visit, seeking for blessings and some other superstitions. In Morocco, there are various means of transport to travel from one place to another. However, many people prefer walking and cycling to move around, especially in the old city centers. Bikes and motorbikes are so common with young people in busy towns and cities like Fez and Casablanca. But there are multiple other means of transport that we use to get around Moroccan cities. So before we diving any further, I would like actually to refer that I'm going to divide the Moroccan means of transport to two sections. On the first hand, ways to move in a Moroccan city, which means short distance ways of transport. While on the second hand, I will address some ways to travel across the country of Morocco, which means quite long distance ways of commuting. It is important to realize that petit taxi is not allowed to exceed the city borders or limits. Furthermore, petit taxi is a car for small groups of people, since it cannot give a ride to more than 3 people. Not to mention, the color of petit taxis here in Morocco differs from a place to another. If you go, for example, to Casablanca or Fez, you will find it red. While if you go north, you might find it blue or rose. Another crucial fact about Moroccan petit taxi is that its ride price depends on the duration and distance. Local public and private buses are equally important, just as petit taxi. However, they are quite cheaper than other means of transport and can also take you anywhere within a city and they offer a really comfortable way to move around the city. And their colors, by the way, it is up to the company which ran them. On this current slide, we'll get a grasp about what so-called trams, metro, or subway. They are actually a cheap and modern means of transportation, and they make getting around very quick, efficient, and convenient. But they are unfortunately not available in all Moroccan cities. When it comes to commuting outside Syria, there are multiple choices to do so, one of which is traveling by trains. So when you travel long distances in Morocco, there is nothing like the railway. It is safe, easy, and comfortable. Not to mention that the railroad system connects all the major cities with smaller towns and villages. There are also city buses, which are truly reliable and relaxed. They travel to most cities across the country. You can buy your ticket at bus stations or online through their official website. Some of these buses have also got Wi-Fi internet. Last but not least, big or grand taxis, which are usually white or yellow cars. They are not allowed to exceed 6 people, which means the double of city taxi's capacity. They are very practical because they can take you to places where trains and buses do not go. So before I leave you with my final thoughts about the most renowned parks and cities in Morocco and some means of transport, also, let me briefly restate my vital takeaways. So basically, in this presentation number 2, we have covered initially some historical and current facts about both Casablanca city and the legendary city of Azmur, including their iconic features as well. Furthermore, we have got a grasp on the most common ways to travel and move in a Moroccan city and also across the country. Finally, if you guys find any ambiguity in my presentation, please do not hesitate to ask me. And at this time, I would like to thank you all for your time, efforts, and attention. And I would like to mention that it is such a good experience to be here with you, giving and receiving numerous cultural facts. And with no doubt, I will need this information, whether in my study, field, or in my life. Anyways, it is nice to meet you guys again, and thank you so much.
All right. So thank you, Ashraf. So I just want to add that we have the same transportation vehicles like buses and taxi in Philippines. And
Yeah.
okay, so that's good with the color of the taxis. So now I will share my screen. If you don't mind. Okay.
All right.
Okay, teacher. So I guess we'll have another link from Ghana teacher. So we have unlimited time. So that is the last links for the I guess we have 5 minutes more. Okay. President Romel, can you award the certificate for Ashraf? So we will finish our presentation tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll have another meeting from Ghana after this. Okay, we only have 5 minutes more. So here is now the president of Student Council from Philippines to award the certificate of appreciation to Ashraf Marshid. President Romel.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Moderator. This certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to Mr. Ashraf Marchwid for his phenomenal and worthy presentation as the speaker in the cultural exchange collaboration of Morocco and the Philippines, given this 16th day of April, the year of 2022, and signed by the Member Learners Development IELTA Teacher Osana Moshin, and the member learners development of a yoga, um, teacher Brian Piatensha, and we're sorry, College of Education, student council president of the state audit university, Pamela. Congratulations, Mr. Ashraf.
Okay, so
Thank
Ashraf,
you
thank you
so
so
much.
much. We really learn a lot
Really
from the
appreciate it.
Morocco. Okay, so I will send the certificate right away, right after this session. So we
I
can
think
all
you still need the signature of my professor, right?
again. What is it again?
I think you still need the signature of my professor.
I have the sorry. I have the e-signature of your teacher. I will send
Did you
the
see this?
certificate. I received the signature of your teacher. I will edit it right away and then I will
Alright.
send you with signature. Okay? Thank you,
Thanks, Andy.
Ashraf. Okay. Okay, so I guess Ashraf, we can leave the meeting. But teacher from Ghana, hello, teacher Fatih. So we will have another link for an unlimited time. We have so the link will be coming from Ghana for the meeting. I guess, teacher Ebenezer. Okay, so we will leave the meeting and teacher Ebenezer will send another link for the Zoom for meeting of Ghana and Philippines collaboration. Okay, so thank you everyone. This is the last collaboration with Morocco and Philippines. Thank you so much, Ashraf. Thank you, teacher Fatih, and thank you, teacher Ebenezer. Have a nice afternoon, everyone.